What up, Pittsburgh Steel fans? Matty P, Shannon White here. It is draft day. It is finally here. All the talk, all the craziness, all the moves, all the off-season debate, all the senior bowls and the combine discussion. We're here. It is draft day. It's like I wake up and it's the draft for me. So I'm calling it the Draftmas. It's like Steelers Christmas. Happy Draftmas, Shannon White. How are you doing, my good friend? So good to have you on the show as usual. We get to do each and every week. I think we're going to bring in another guest in a moment as well. It's a panel here. But firstly, how you doing, my good friend?
I'm doing good. I've just been excited all day. I'm just glad that the speculation is almost over. And now we'll finally have an answer to everything we've been talking about for the last 2-3 months. And we can move ahead and then start really doing a deep dive on these guys.
That's it. Is there... I'm gonna bring in another panelist, and then I'm gonna ask you both a question. But welcome to the stage, Marky D, Steelers Nation Australia,
Marky.
The OG TDU boys. I don't think we all three have ever made it onto a podcast together in the 3 years we've all been doing.
Not at the same time, no.
So how are you doing, mate?
I'm doing good. I reckon Shannon's ready to play center.
I'm ready.
I reckon he's getting there, eh?
I'm ready. Now, me and Marky, we did podcasts together.
Yes.
When you was on vacation or whatever.
That's right.
We've not all three been on here. I don't know if the internet can handle it.
No. That's it. And if the other potential guest comes in as well, then it's just going to break the whole thing.
They said that Kim Kardashian broke the internet with some pictures and stuff. What is this three going to do?
That's it.
I'm not doing what she did, man. No way. That's a bit.
We know about the video, Marky. We know.
Oh. If that gets out, I'm done. I'm cancelled forever.
Maybe it might send you big time, man. Only Mark fans.
Oh.
You know, only Mark fans.
He'll be banned in a few countries. But...
How you doing, mate? Happy Draftmas. It's different for us. I feel like they go through the whole day and all this anticipation, and the Americans get like like tired from all the stuff. Whereas with us, like we wake up and it's like
and we're like, oh, here it is. In another hour's time, we're drafting someone. Or I guess 2 hours time because we're like number 20. But yeah, for us, when we wake up, it's because I go to bed and I see all the news and it's like happy draft day, all the Americans getting up, and like you can see the Australians comment first on Twitter because everyone's waking up at 6 a.m. And then it's like then you guys have your full day, and it's like I guess it's kind of like. I don't know. Was there a lot of anticipation today, Shannon? When you're you're keen all day because we're just like here it is.
Oh yeah. I told him I've been excited all day. I'm just ready for the speculation to be over.
100%.
I'm just really ready. But I mean, you still had people doing mocks today, and there's been all kind of rumors. You know, this team's wanting to move up, and this one's wanting to move back, but nothing's happened. Well, you will have one or two pre-draft trades, on this day. But this year has just been a lot of speculation.
I guess that was the first question I wanted to ask you guys as well. Is like, so I was just tweeting out a link for the show for everyone. But is this rumor that the Steelers are trading up? Now, that's probably no surprise to either of you blokes for sure. Sean says draft the koala. I love it. But how far are you comfortable with the Steelers drafting? Because obviously the further we go up, the more capital we're giving away. Marky, I'm going to throw it to you because I know the guys that Shannon's thinking about that are only worth drafting up for. How far would you be willing to draft up knowing that we've got to give up more and more capital as you go up each pick?
I'm going to kind of answer it in a different way. It's how far I think the Steelers would do. Like, I reckon they're not going to go in, I don't think, top 10. I don't think anything like that. Maybe they'll wait to see if tackles fall or the center falls or whatnot. I don't know if they'll draft up to get a receiver or cornerback. I'd be kind of shocked. I feel like it'll be similar to last year with Broderick Jones when they moved up like 3 or 4 places. That could be a possibility. I think it really comes down to me and what I'm looking into in the last few hours now. Like I reckon they're either going to go center or tackle. I just think it has to be O-line. Now, they could go and get receiver and the flashy guys, sure. I've seen that cornerback, Dijon.
Could be Dijon,
Yeah. So the other way around. He's up there. But I just keep looking at it. I was like, just build your team through the draft. Get a bloke who's 6'6", 6'5", who can play. and put him in the line. And Omar Khan will do that. He showed it last year with Jones. And everyone was saying, go and get JPJ, the cornerback, and they still got him in the second round. But then I think, too, is what do they choose today is going to kind of map out what they want to do for the next round, too. They're not just picking round one, they're picking what's going to happen after that. So
that's a really good point that I think a lot of people get miss when they think about the first round. It's like, what's the flow-on effect, especially in Shannon's going to jump in, especially like with the center prospects? Because I talked about center prospect. The best center prospect in Daniel Jeremiah's top 150 is 22, and that's Barton. Everyone else has all got a round 2 grade on them.
Another thing you got to think about is gamesmanship, because the rumor is that the Bengals love Talisi Fuaga, who is my coveted target, and they're 18. So if the Steelers jump ahead of them and take Fuaga like they did Broderick Jones last year, like Mark you mentioned, you're killing 2 birds with 1 stone. You're getting what I think is a generational right tackle, and you're keeping him away from the Bengals.
Can I say one thing too? I wake up because I follow the Bengals because I'm like, I troll them, I share that stuff on Steel Oz, right? I can't stand that draft day. How they spell D-E-Y. That really annoys me. Like they call themselves Who Day, and who they're going to beat them Bengals, and I'm like, I'm going to do an episode soon. I'm going to count every single team. I'm going to call out every single score. Because like I think 400 teams have beat them in like 57 years. Who they going to beat them Bengals? Half the league beats them. Everybody beats them.
And the funniest thing is, like, you think about like them using the letters like that. I mean, Hendrickson wants out of there. Like, they're a basket case right now.
Oh,
Higgins
wants out. Yeah, there's other guys. Yeah.
I mean, hearing Higgins wants out and knowing the Steelers need a wide receiver and knowing Omar Khan, like, man, like, please. But it's a lot of money. But he's cheaper than Ayuk. He'd be cheaper than Ayuk. Right, so
I forget that, because everybody knows how much I despise the Bengals.
Oh, but no one despises them more than Marky did.
Marky dislikes the Bengals more than me.
I hate them. Didn't the other bloke, the other D-line, say on the internet that he was going to retire or not?
That's the same guy, Hendrickson.
Yeah, Hendrickson.
He said he wants that new deal, or he's thinking about retiring.
He had a good year last year, though. Remember we were all previewing that game in Cincinnati, and he was in the top 3 guys with sacks in the league.
14 and a half or something, I think.
Yeah, he had 14, 15. Yeah. Like,
sorry to go off topic, but I just can't stand that D-E-Y. It really annoys me. Like, just call it D-A-Y. We get it. You guys do Who Day and whatever, but it's like, they do it for everything. It's like, I can't handle it.
Do you know the most? I want to give you a random one. It only affects the Steelers because they're playing this team, and then we'll get more into draft stuff. This is a good chat. Did you know that Ezekiel Elliott did a workout with the Cowboys in Dallas?
Yeah.
In the last 48 hours?
Why?
Like they're going back. It's like 2017 all over again, man. I know.
Well, they lost Pollard, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
So
but how crazy would that be after all that went down, right?
Yeah.
Because I think his original deal, he would have only just come off contract with the original, like the multi-year deal. Like he'd only be just out of contract, so they could have had him at this point in time.
Where is Zeke now? Is he on a new team?
Because he was at the Patriots last year on a
that's right. Yeah.
Remember he hurt up. Remember he pretty much won them the game against. Like he had a vintage Zeke.
I think he's so done though. His running back days are over. He's so slow. He's done.
Another move from Jerry.
Oh, good old Jerry, mate. Jerry Jones. I'm glad we haven't got him as an owner. Like he's just too far involved with everything. He'd be all. Is he going to announce a pick today? Like we got Cameron Hayward doing out. He must be doing that.
Probably.
It's it. He's too involved.
He might be with Robert Kraft out with doing the rub and tug.
Oh boy!
Listen, back when AB wanted out, and before they traded him, they was trying to. I wrote an article. Can you imagine AB and Jerry Jones on the same team?
Oh,
they'd make a movie, a buddy cop movie together. It'd be a love fest. I wrote an article. AB would score a touchdown, and he'd blow kisses to Jerry Jones in the owner's mouth.
Jerry Jones would blow like cigar rings. Actually, that's another good one. What do you think about AB retiring as a Raider? I hate it, man. Like, good luck. You want to be Steelers Hall of Honor? You want to do all this? Nah, you're
wait, a Raider or Steeler? What's he choosing now?
He's just retired. He's retired as a Raider.
No, did they retire him as a Raider?
Yep.
Wait, the Raiders
chose
officially...
no. He chose to do that though. He opted to retire a Raider.
And he never played a game for him.
That can't make any sense though.
He never played a game.
Because he had a contract with him. Once you play a contract with the team, you're allowed to retire.
Yeah, but remember he got into it with Mike Mayock.
Yep.
At camp. It might even have been voluntary OTAs. But anyway, they got into it.
I think it was because it was over that because there was the helmet issue. Remember, he didn't want to wear the helmet that they wanted to get in.
But he never played a real game.
Oh, he's just
he wanted to come back to Pittsburgh, and they wasn't interested.
I'm glad he's not retiring a Steeler because I don't think he deserves to retire a Steeler.
I don't think so.
No.
He's too gone.
You hit the nail on the head, Mikey, about round one.
Yeah.
What say they go tackle, right, or center in first round for whatever reason? Do you? I don't know. I'll throw this to you both. Do you then want them to go pick a defensive player and get a defensive prospect and start showing up the defense? Or are you happy to double down on offense? And then which position if it is a double down on offense? So I'll go Mark and then I'll go.
It's a very loaded question 1 hour before the draft.
I know. It wouldn't be me if I didn't ask a loaded question.
It's like you can answer this in certain ways. You can go, okay, we know we need more stuff on the O-line. Go and get right tackle and center, right? Jesus.
Sorry.
A bit of a sidetrack, and we might, because I'm doing a live stream later, and you guys are welcome to come up if you want to. But like, if I was the other gender, right, I'd be so rich. I have no self worth at all, so I'd be so rich. I'll be 24/7. It'd be 7-Eleven, but OnlyFans. I'll be open all day.
You never worked in your life.
Never. I wouldn't even leave my room. I just get DoorDashes and just have all kinds of camera angles going on and different things happening. That's how far we come. Okay, I'm gonna get back to the question. The question was, no, if they go, so they get right tackle, they get forward because I like him too. I look him up and I see podcasts here and there. I'm listening. Yeah. He's 6'6". We need a right tackle. Be awesome. The flow-on effect is. Then you guys have talked about before that Zach Frazier bloke. Is he going to be there in the second round? So that kind of links too, right? Yeah. Then what if he's not there? Do you go and get another guy who's on the defensive tackle? Do you go and get the cornerback? I think we all know what the missing piece is offensive line in a few spots, cornerback, maybe middle linebacker, maybe defensive line, stuff like that. Omar Khan's going to link them up like he did last year, didn't he? Mm-hmm. OL, CB, tight end, and you had Nick Herbig on the third guy too, and Keanu Benton. So I don't know. I'm intrigued. I trust Khan a lot, really.
Yeah.
See what he's done. I like what you said there because, if they're doing that, and I think you hit the nail on the head with and I'll throw it to Shannon his thoughts. You hit the nail on the head on what the Steelers do. To me, if that's the process they're following, then it's D lineman in round 2 or tackle if they picked if they went with a center prospect in round 1. Because the cornerback class is deep and they've got 2 third-round picks, right? So they can move up in the third round or move even into the late second if they have to. But I think the first pick that they make in the second round, if it's not no lineman, I actually begin to think it's going to be a D lineman. Mikey D, I like my bets, right? And I put some bets on some draft bets.
How many you got?
Some on 2 different. I'm up to 15 bets now, right? But Michael Hall Jr., Tab are usually pretty good, one of the betting agencies here. And Michael Hall Jr. is in there at only $5. So what's that? 500 to I think it's 5,000 in American terms, or the 1 to 5,000 streak. Or is it 500? Whatever it is. But he's playing $1. You get $5 return for every dollar you bet on him to be in the first round. That is the first time I've seen anyone talking about Michael Hall Jr. in the first round. The other prospect they've got just interestingly on the betting side of things over across the ditch. And one of the main app that I think Mark used as well, besides Tab, Sportsbet a part of FanDuel. They DraftKings? No, they're FanDuel. Are they FanDuel?
I'm banned from Sportsbet.
Oh, you're banned from them. But anyway, they've got JC Latham now considered a top 7 pick. So
yeah, everybody's showing him top 10 now.
There's something going on.
Yeah, they come out of nowhere. Yeah.
People are knowing there's something going around. There's rumors. But Shannon, on that perspective of the Steelers going, let's say they go tackle in round 1 or center in round 1. Do you want them to double up on the offense, or do you think they need to go get another defensive, pick in round 2?
To be honest, if they stay at 20, and let's say they take Barton, I would be perfectly fine with taking Frazier in the second.
Thank
Because
you.
can
I
play
said this
Barton.
in a comment. I sent this a comment last night. Yes, agree.
So you could play Barton at tackle. At right tackle, he'd be an upgrade.
Well,
and then later on, move him into guard because I think his future will be at guard because he's so athletic. But then you can still take Frazier, and then your offensive line settled for the next 4 or 5 years.
Well, I reckon you predicted a very likely eventuality and it might be Frazier, it might be Van Pran, because not only that, but kicking him in at guard would be very helpful considering James Daniels is on the last year of his contract. And I'm going to credit Steal a Wage Show. It's a subscriber and a listener and a big fan across all the different podcasts that all three of us do on 3 different networks.
I like Brother Wade, yes.
He talked about this, and I hadn't even, you know what, that is a storyline that no one is talking about. So we're giving him the shout out because it's true. James Daniels is going to his last year. Look at the contract that Dotson got. If you can get cheaper at the position, and has James Daniels earned a new contract? For a lot of Steel fans, yes, but we're looking in the context of being a good player on an average line. Siamalu's only getting older. You go get Barton in the first. If the other center doesn't fall to you, you've got your center, if at least for 1 year. If the center does fall to you,
right,
you've got 2 of the best interior O-linemen out there. Like, that's a win.
I want to ask you a question, Matty. So you're saying that you go and double down and get both those blokes, right? Now, can Barton play center?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly. I'm just going to set this out because what's going to happen is Twitterverse is going to go crazy.
Yes.
If the Steelers go in good ways and bad ways, if the Steelers go 2 centers in a row, the crazy fans are going to go, oh, what do we do that for? You know what I mean? So look out for that.
To me,
Agreed.
Barton is insurance because he can play center.
Yes.
But he can play guard better, and he's been a tackle for the last 3 years. So I trust Barton more than I do Mims because Mims only has 8 starts, and he's great, but he's a project. Barton is the sure thing, and he's the most athletic offensive lineman in this class. So then you take Frazier, and you can play Barton wherever you want. So he's kind of an insurance in case they don't get Frazier in the second, and he's gone at 51. Then you, like you say, you could try Van Pran, maybe the first pick of the third.
Yeah.
So Barton is insurance, and you're getting a great player.
Well, and this is it. And Barton is the best five position versatile lineman in this class.
Oh, easy.
Probably followed by Fatanu, but I don't really like that.
Fatano's the only other guy. I would say he's 5 positions. Yeah.
So, and then if you looked at tackle, in another year, Barton's probably a top 5 tackle as well. He's the top interior guard prospect, and Christian Haynes is the next guy, and there's a bit of a gap between them. So, like, why wouldn't you? That's why I've been saying, like, for the last 2 weeks now, you go get Barton. Like, getting Barton is not a consolation prize at 20. And Daniel Jeremiah said it about a week ago. It was like, it's amazing that in this draft class, more people are talking about Barton because in our draft class, he is a top 12, top 15 pick. The depth of some of the tackles and the hype of all these tackles and the fear that's being hyped up there around people missing out on one of the top tackles has pushed Barton lower down the board.
If Barton's arms was 34, 35 inches, he'd be top 10.
Because they're 33 and a half, aren't they?
Yeah, they're short for a guy his height, yes.
But I also listened to an interview with him, Daniel Jeremiah, and Bucky Brooks as like a draft interview. This guy reeks of being a Steeler, man. Like, he is an impressive leader. This guy, like, he's ready to go. The other question I'll throw to you guys, and I know, Shannon, you might maybe have a stronger opinion on it. I know which guy you lean towards, so I'm going to throw it to Marky D first. You know, the corners, they've got obviously Cooper DeJean's out there, but you've heard a lot about like Terran Arnold, who had a really good combine, and Quinion Mitchell, the kid out of Toledo, that's pretty good. Do you have a preference on any of these names, just in what you're hearing or what you like?
Me?
Yeah.
When's the draft start?
40 minutes time.
Thank goodness. I have no idea, man. Like I'm not gonna lie to anyone. I actually have no idea. All I know is Quinion Mitchell can run fast. He's like 4.33 or something.
Yeah. Do you want the cornerback out of Alabama, or do you happy to go with a guy that's cool out of Toledo? Like some people are getting down on the
I
Steelers.
did in my head. I said Holy Toledo, so let's go that way. That would do. Wasn't DJ from there?
DJ,
Yeah, don't remind
DJ,
me.
yeah.
Don't remind me.
Yeah. Hey, ooh. You know what? That's probably the worst place for him to go. I don't know why he went to the Panthers. I don't know. He couldn't choose, could he?
No.
What's he gonna do over there with that bloke is like 4'2"?
Byron Young.
Yeah, he's taller than his quarterback.
Yeah, I don't know. But no,
We shouldn't like too much. Russ is pretty short, guys.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but
wait, was it you, Matty? Told me about that photo with Mike Tomlin.
Mike Tomlin, yeah,
he's like 6'2", and Wilson's down here on him. It's like
Mike Tomlin's not even meant. Mike Tomlin's meant to be 5'10", and Russ, and he had some thick like like sports shoes on. Like I think they were Nike Air Maxes. But Russ is like a good short.
The thing is though, like I've never seen Tomlin happier though in that photo. It's Wilson and Queen next to him. He's so happy. He's like he looks like that was his birthday too. So
that's why I'm going to throw out the scenario that I want to throw out there. I mean, you guys, we'll probably all shoot it down, but I'm just throwing it out there. But it feeds into what you just said, them being happy about Wilson and having a veteran. Like everyone thinks this rumor Steelers trading to the top 10, right? They haven't picked up Fields' contract, right? There's other rumors that we know that exist out there about, that maybe there could be another top quarterback, on the move in the top 10 because that team's got a new coach, right? So that being the case, what if the Steelers did move up in the top 10 and drafted a guy like a not even a JJ McCarthy, but drafted some quarterback that they really liked and then got him to learn from Russell? Like, it's not, I saw something on Twitter that alluded to this and I was like, I don't think it's the Steelers move. I don't think it's going to happen. But wouldn't that be a shock? Like as you said, Mark, you did before, crazy Twitterverse. Wouldn't that be a shock? And then
if they got a quarterback like one of the high guys or the top.
Yeah, what if they trade into the top 10? They got a quarterback. They're like, you know what? We're going to do it. He can sit behind Russ. We're taking the Patrick Mahomes approach. I
think the Steelers Nation would melt down because we're so fixated on the O line and building the D line and stuff like that. If we went to get a quarterback, then we still have those problems. And then you really need a good path to get out of that and really make sure your back end draft is fantastic. Because even if you do get a quarterback, you don't know what's so like he's already gone. He's going to be a star. But then
how's this? My wife said to me before I got on air. She said, "Who's going to go first pick in the draft?" And I said, "It's going to be Caleb Williams." And she goes, "You know it already." I'm like, "Yep." And she goes, "How boring is that for you?" I'm like,
"That's already set out."
I'm going to bring Big G in with that. Big G, welcome to the show, man. You're back. You enjoyed it. You enjoyed your time, and now you're back.
Yeah, man, I got a lot going on. I'm all over the place right now. I'm in Australia. I've been on multiple different Steelers podcasts. I'm about to go into the know-it-all, so I'm making sure I jump in and check in with everybody. And thanks for the invite, for just being a part of the podcast. Pre-Steelers draft, jumping off. And what's up, fellas? What's going on?
Have you met Marky?
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever met Marky. Marky, how you doing, man?
How are you, Big G? You got those signs cracking or what? What signs you got today?
Oh, man, which one you want? Which one? I got them all.
We need to do a cycle, Big G. We got the algorithms going. We got the big facts.
Who you want to talk about and when, and we get to talking about it. And I got one for you, man. So what's the conversation, man? I heard a little bit.
I asked the boys a question. I want to get your take on it, Big G. I said, let's say the Steelers go offensive line. Doesn't matter if it's the center prospect or the tackle prospect in round one.
Uh-huh. You
want them to go in round two and get, and like putting aside BPA, we all want BPA, but will you have them to double down and get another good offensive player, or do you want them to go add another defensive piece? Because we're in win now mode, right? That's where the Steelers organization's at. So you have them double down on offense if they go offense in round one, or do you want them to go get defense in round two?
Well, to be honest, in my opinion, it depends what's available.
Yeah,
if it depends on if there's a guy that was slotted to be a top anywhere between 18 and 32 and 34 pick, because in every draft that happens. Yeah. And a guy slides down and we're closer to that 51 pick and we're like, hey, this guy was in our top 40, then it doesn't matter if it's offense and or defense. But the issue is get the value for the pick. And when you're going to keep hearing me say it, I've said it on every podcast I've been on today, is that don't reach for a player in this draft. Because it's so deep. Mm-hmm. You don't have to take a chance and take a risk because you're trying to double down or triple down for a player. Get a guy and stick to your draft board and pick the player that you want at that slot. If you do anything else outside of that, you're not doing nothing but burning your own draft. Because when you reach, then that causes a daisy chain thing. And then the next thing you know, it's all messed up later on in those third and fourth rounds that are critical to build out a roster.
Yeah, butterfly effect. The other thing I said to the boys, which I know you're going to have a really, really good opinion on, Big G, is that one of the I got some draft bets on, right, with our betting agencies down here. And one of them is the first one I've seen this, right? Right. I usually make money. Like Marky D will tell you, I made a couple of hundred on Pat Freiermuth that year. On Muth, Javon Holland, top safety that draft. He was the third ranked safety.
Man, I need to get in with you, bro. You over there handling your business, man. I need to get in with that. This sounds like some dubs going on over there, some wins, some W's. Yeah, I like that, man. But go ahead.
I had N'Keal Harry that year, the Patriots, as well as a first round pick. That got me a bit of money. Anyway, what I was gonna, and I had Daniel Jones that year. Anyway, I could keep going on about them. I hit with these things, but the surprising thing for me was Michael Hall Jr. $5 to scrape into the back of the first round, right? So every dollar you put in, you got $5 back. That's very short odds, right? Like Roma Dunze is only like $5 to be in the top three or four picks, right? In this same betting agency.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering, and same thing as I'm hearing JC Latham now as a top 8 pick. When you look at all the betting markets, he's paying very short odds to be a top 8 pick. Well, at first I want to get, because I know you've had some opinions on Latham through the draft process, but Michael Hall Jr. in the first, could you see it happening? You know, Ohio State, you met the guy.
Absolutely, because so what I'm hearing based on all the little rumors and my inside connects and all this, whatever else, this is going to be an offensive heavy top draft pick from 1 through 15. 1 through 15, you're going to see offensive players, and it doesn't matter what position, fly off the board like you've never seen before. But then from 15 to 32, that's where you're going to start seeing runs on defensive players. And so there's certain teams that want a position regardless if there's a guy who's sitting at a better position, available. So Michael Hall Jr. is probably a top 3 or 4 defensive tackle. Yeah. So if you see Miles Murphy jump off the board, if you see Chris Jenkins jump off the board, now where you're going.
And Newton, yeah.
Yeah, I can't take the risk or the chance because this is a position of need for my team. So at those odds, I love it. But I got a guy, I'm gonna tell you a guy I noticed going off the board, and people have been telling me all day I'm crazy. And I said, I wanted to bet people corner time. Really, to be honest, I was like, yeah, come on, whatever. If you want to see it. Xavier Worthy's going in the first round. There's no way Xavier Worthy is getting past 25. I'm telling you right now, because the NFL is infatuated with speed.
Dallas, Dallas could pick him too. What are they picking? 24th off the top of my head. Yeah. The reeks of that, and we were just making jokes about AB and Jerry Jones. Back up. The other one though, like I heard that
Miami wants Worthy.
Yeah, 22. Miami picks 21, 22.
But that makes sense. I mean, look, like to all of us, I don't think we'd pick Worthy into the Steelers at 20, right? But
no,
Miami, you put Tyreek Hill and Xavier Worthy, and you've just created running lanes all day because the other team has to scheme for the 2 of the quickest guys in the NFL. Same thing with Kansas City, right? They go get a Worthy and they add that type of wide receiver to the mix. That makes a stack of sense for them, right? Like I don't dispute that in any way, shape, or form. But I think as well with Michael Hall Jr., like I could see him on at a team like Kansas City. Like he'd be really good for their interior line.
Yeah, well, the Chiefs have been. So this is the thing, man. People are talking all the time about Pat Mahomes and his ability to play quarterback and what he does for the offensive team for the Kansas City Chiefs. But you know how they won the Super Bowl last year? Their defense. They've been building through the draft for defense for several years, right?
Bolton, McDuffie, is it Califanitis sort of? I always get his name wrong, which is terrible when you
Kodopoulos, defensive end from Penn State University. Yeah, they've been building through the draft through defense. So why would they not stop now? And if you get a guy that you could put opposite of Jones at the defensive tackle, oh man, you're causing havoc. You are causing big havoc for whoever you're going to play moving forward. Because the issue is, okay, I got my homeboy, and all I got to do is hold you under 28 because he gonna get 28. So that, and it makes all the sense in the world. Everybody else is interchangeable in the offensive scheme for Kansas City. To me.
Marky D, I know you've got your live stream kicking off pretty soon. Do you have any questions for Big G or anything you wanted to, any little draft bombs you wanted to drop on us before you jump out?
I got one little question for everyone, kinda. I just saw a report out there that Ian Rappaport said the Steelers are looking to trade up, right? Now, if that's a report going around, if that's already known the fact, wouldn't it be harder to trade up than other teams would be, maybe giving Steelers a bad deal? Or do you think will that matter, giving away their plan kind of thing?
Well, and this is just my opinion too. The con man is a mastermind at moving chess pieces around what we don't see. And I know as well as you guys know, because we all cover Steelers, all the time. Wherever there's smoke, there's fire. So there's something cooking behind the scenes that we don't see concerning Pittsburgh. And I think it's because they got 2 guys targeted and they're waiting to see where those guys might fall. Yeah. So the trade value is for, I think, the 2 guys that they have slotted that they want is somewhere between that 11 and 15 pick. So if they can jump up from 20 to between 11 and 15 and get the guy. Now, in my dream scenario, they go in the top 10. But if there's probably 2 guys between that 11 and 15, and if those guys fall, I can see him doing it. And one of the guys, I know you guys don't know this. I heard this late today. The Steelers are in love with Blake Bowers. They're in love with
Brock
Bowers.
Brock
Bowers.
The tight end.
Yeah. And so I found out that's where all that smoke came from about Freiermuth. That smoke from Freiermuth came because the Steelers are talking about, okay, we'll let Muth go and we'll pick up Bowers.
But imagine Bowers in the Arthur Smith offense, though. Like that makes sense.
Yeah.
And the only thing about Bowers, and Darren Jeremiah said this, and it's interesting as well. And why it's interesting, particularly for the Steelers, is when you think about Omar Khan being a dollars and cents guy, is that Brock Bowers, if you pick him in the top 12 to 15 guys, he's automatically the second or third best paid tight end in the league. Never played a snap. Outside of that, though, fine. But then you think about an offense that's going to rely so heavily on a tight end that can do it all. And the Steelers don't really have a tight end that can do it all. Freeman is not a deep run blocker. Darnell Washington hasn't proved that he's a receiver. I don't hate it. But then I look at rounds 2 and 3 and there's tight ends there that I like. But you can't fault, Brock Bowers is going to be a gun. You also look at the way Russ has used tight ends before as well. He never got the chance, obviously, with Fant that was involved with the trade. But we had Jimmy Graham at the Seahawks. They have another tight end out there that's not too bad with Denver. Russ likes his tight ends, right? So it doesn't, and so does, and a tight end could be very good in the development of Justin Fields as well, right? So I don't hate it. I would prefer them to get someone in the trenches, but I don't. You can't argue with one of the best prospects in the NFL draft.
Yeah, but Bowers to me has a high ceiling, but he has a low floor. He is strictly a pass catcher, average blocker at best. But my biggest drawback is I look back and every year he played, he had nagging injuries. He was always nursing something. And if he didn't have a strong game, it was like, well, he's nursing this injury. If he's already doing that in college, when he gets to the pros, he's going to be Larry Ogunjobi, perpetually injured.
Yeah. I mean, that could happen. That could happen. But so maybe I'm biased too. I mean, everybody knows I'm a Big Ten fan. But when you see transitional players from the SEC, you can't miss. If an SEC transition to the NFL is a whole nother level up from Big Ten transition to the NFL. SEC guys, when they're ramping and raving about how good an SEC guy really is, he's really that thing, bro. He's really that thing. So
to me, it's just a durability issue.
Yeah. But
I'm
Bowers,
concerned about that. Yeah.
Bowers is the truth. Bowers, what he ran a sub 4.4? I think he ran a 4.38, 4.3. And he's 250 something up. But Shannon, he can block a little bit too. Now
he's a better blocker than Freemuth. He's a better blocker than Freemuth.
And he's not Mount Washington. But remember, Washington and Bowers played together at Georgia.
Yeah.
So now you got Jones, Washington, and Bowers. I mean, Washington, Jones, and Bowers, that was the sub package, for the 12 personnel that worked in Georgia when they were killing everybody. So now, okay, I bring that to the NFL game. What does that do from the development from Justin Fields? How does that set Rusty to give him an outlet and a safety cushion? How does that develop George Pickens as a player? It's a lot going on.
How does that prep for Carson Beck next year?
I mean, it just depends on which way how you want to go. But I've been saying, and I said this other night on the podcast with you guys, the depth is at wide receiver and offensive line. You can get. I know the Steelers know we need a center. I know that. I know we need a tackle. I know. I think they're willing to stay with Dan Moore, but I don't necessarily want him. No. But I think they're willing to do it. But going into this year, I don't think they're as pressing needs as what most Steelers Nation believes. You know, I think that they're looking like, okay, I need a home run guy that's going to be able to have me keep pace with the Kansas City Chiefs. And so that's why I'm like, if they're trying to do that, Bowers might be the guy they're going to go get, man.
Oh, one other question I got, and whoever can take it first, whoever wants it. In the press conference the other day with Mike and Mike Tomlin, they talked about not passing on a good player that's available at 20. What if a guy like a Byron Murphy as a defensive tackle is on the board? Like, you know, we all know Cam Hayward's coming to the end of it, but we could get more out of Cam. Mark and I talked about this as soon as I went to 17 games, managing the snaps. What if you go get a defensive lineman that then, and we know Logan Joby, this has got, well, the only reason he's on this roster this year is because his cap hit is too expensive to replace. Do you go and get someone to go work alongside Cam in round one that's bona fide that you know is going to be a 10-year starter?
Murphy's too short.
I think he's too short for a 3-4. I know, but I'm just saying a guy
Why not get Braden Fisk? Or why not get one of these guys that are 6'4", 6'5"? That fits their... I just think that Murphy is a good player, but he's just short, like Lacey last year.
But Aaron Donald was short. I agree with you. I agree with you. I like more height in the defense. I'm just saying, but other prospects that we're also focused on O-line or cornerback or wide receiver. But if there's another bona fide, and you brought it up, Big G, effectively with Brook Bowers, what if the best prospect at a position is available at 20 or at 18 and you're like, well, I can shore up a position. Like, it's a short pick. It's an expensive position. Like,
I'm interested to see what Mark says. I really am interested to see what he says on this one. Seriously.
Sure?
Yeah, absolutely. I want to hear it. Listen, I want to hear what you got to say, bro. So
all right. Well, most of you blokes out there know I'm not a draft guy. Here's what's going to happen. Mm-hmm. Chase Claypool announced Pickens. Remember that?
Yep.
Why can't Cameron Hayward announce a defensive tackle?
Oh, I like it.
That?
That's
spicy. I said that too. I said that years back. I said when Claypool got done, I was like, they've taken over his job, and then 2 years later he's out of the league. Because I'll be honest, I don't know who Furphy or Misk is or Frisk or what he said is. I have no idea what these blokes are. But all I know is from history is that Cameron Hayward's there tonight. Is there a reason he's there to announce? Does he really want to announce offensive guy or defensive guy?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. It makes all the sense in the world. You know, and listen, so that's why I wanted to know. Listen, we're all Steeler fans. We know. For us, we're not like the rest of the NFL. It's about legacy for us. Mm-hmm. And how legacy works is you pass the torch from one guy to the next.
Yep.
That's how it works. And so from a legacy standpoint, it would be one of the greatest things in the world to see Cam Hayward, who's going to be a Hall of Fame player for the Pittsburgh Steelers, draft a guy he's passing the torch to. So I love it. Legacy and when you got the pedigree, the NFL pedigree, those are the two things that I think the Steelers like more than anybody. Yeah. We want NFL pedigree and legacy. So I like it. I like the transition to see Hayward hand it off to Murphy. It makes all the sense in the world.
Do you think the Steel Nation would melt down too as well if we pick defensive tackle at 20? Do you think they will lose their mind? Or is it's still a pressing need though, isn't it?
In my mind, listen, the Steelers Nation is going to lose it regardless of whatever.
Facts. Facts. I wish I had a sign.
I got my sign. I got my sign.
Facts yourself. You won't get fined. Facts yourself.
The Steelers Nation is going to lose it no matter what. No matter what, because Shannon, we've been riding for a long time. We've been riding. Mm-hmm. And Steelers Nation, man, is going to lose it because there's so much bias. Well, I got my bias sign ready. There's so much bias that goes on in Steelers Nation concerning love and want for particular players. right? So, for example, and I'm calling big bias on Shannon with this one. If Zach Frazier don't go to the Steelers, there's a lot of people that feel like Shannon. There's a lot of people that feel like Shannon. If an offensive tackle who's serviceable, that's not Tyler Guyton, don't go to the Steelers somewhere within that first or second round, it's going to be a lot of chatter. If a wide receiver doesn't go in round 2 or maybe even round 1, it's going to be a lot of chatter. So there's always going to be big bias with Steelers Nation. The deal is Steelers Nation just needs to sit back and let Khan do what Khan does, because he showed us last year he can do it. Mm-hmm. It's way better than what we had to deal with Kevin Colbert. So now moving forward, let Khan do what Khan do. He gonna get us the groceries to win, bro. He's already look at his draft and his offseason. That's all he's done for us so far. And look at where we are compared to where we were a year ago this time. A year ago this time, look at where we were. And then now look at us a year later. He's almost flipped the roster. And we got dudes now. We don't have scrubs. We got straight dudes.
It's only been 1 year as well, and also that's like, you know, it's 10-7 record for his first year. You know, we'll talk about the coaches, but 10-7 for his first year. So I trust in Khan. I like what he's doing. He's very aggressive in his play. I think whatever move he makes tonight, it's going to be fantastic. But guys, I got to get out of here, get ready for my
D,
show.
enjoy your live stream. Everyone, check out Mikey D's live stream. It kicks off
24 hours a day, the whole day, doing all of it.
Oh,
all the beers. I'm gonna have all the drinks.
Hey man, Marky D, man. Almost got the big fine. Y'all get the algorithms up for Marky D, man, on this show over there, bro.
Appreciate that.
Y'all. Hey, fellas, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Did you have the fax one there too?
Yeah, man. I'm looking for it now. Man, see all these signs I got, man?
How many you got?
Oh, here it goes. like almost 100.
100?
The facts.
All right. Where's camera one? The camera one here. Camera one?
Yeah.
The Bengals are the worst effing team in the entire NFL. You suck. You have been to 3 Super Bowls and you've won none of them. 57 seasons, nothing. You losers. All right.
Fact. Only team I hate worse than the Ratbirds. Big facts.
Yeah, I hate them too. They're bad as well. God.
Hey, fellas, I got to get out of here too.
I got to get too. I'll beat you to it. See you guys.
All right. We'll see you both. And I'll wrap this up, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. It's been awesome so far.
Yeah, I got to get to the Know It Alls podcast. We are doing a live stream for the first round. We're going to have the Run Into the Jungle. First of all, we're going to have the Bear Claw podcast team with us right after the Caleb Williams pick, and they're going to go with us till 9.
Nice.
And then we're going to have the Running Through the Jungle team squad is coming in at pick 10, and they're going to podcast with them. And then we got DC for life, Dallas Cowboys for life, and a big-time podcast guy, Jay Tuck, for the Dallas Cowboys Nation. He's actually press released and all whatever else is coming with us at the end of the show to do this Dallas Cowboys pick. So we have a huge show planned over on the Know It Alls podcast in about 20 minutes.
Hey, Big G.
Yes, sir.
If the Bengals get Talisi Fuaga, cut their cameras.
I can't
turn off their mics. I just shut them down right there.
Yeah. I'm gonna be upset if they get Mims, Fuaga, or Latham. You know,
they're gonna get one of the 3 though, probably.
Yeah. But as long as we get one of those 3, I'm good with it.
Yeah,
I'm good with it too. Yeah. So
that's it.
All right, so y'all make sure y'all get your algorithms up, man. And thank you for giving me.
We'll see you later in the weekend.
Yeah, we'll see you later in the weekend when you're free. Big G will be on with as many shows he can do with us, but he's got a lot of busy commitments. But we thank you for jumping in, Big G. It was awesome having you back, man.
Thank you, man. We'll see y'all later.
See you, buddy.
Howdy. Well, Shannon, we had an awesome little panel going there. Everyone's about to go to the toilet and get their snacks before the draft kicks off. So we're going to wrap it up in the next couple of minutes. What's your final thought out there for Steeler fans as they go through the first round? Because I was waking up this morning and I'm like, I'm so pumped for the first round. But I'm also really, really, really pumped for day 2 and day 3 because there's more picks. We get our first pick tonight, and then we're full of questions about where are they going to head and who else are they going to pick. But what's your advice to fans, or what's the thing that we all need to keep in mind, I guess, as we go through this first round? But they trade up, trade down, trade out, pick a bloke, whatever.
I think we've watched Khan work this offseason where he's had even more confidence because he's got last year, he knows he can do it. So the way he handled the Justin Fields situation, the way he's handled Tyler Boyd, Justin Simmons, they bring these guys in and they're like, we'd love to have you, but this is all we're paying.
Yeah.
And then it's up to them. Now, they're both still out there.
Yeah.
Fields he got for a steal. He might revisit it after the draft. But I think he's doing the same thing with these wanting to move up, trade, or possibly moving back. I think he's like, we'd like to move up, but this is all we're given.
Yeah.
And you have desperate teams that give too much.
Totally.
I don't think Khan's going to do that.
Yeah.
So I think likely the Steelers will pick at 20. Because I don't think unless somebody gives him a great offer to move back. But I just don't think he's going to overpay to move up. So hopefully everybody won't be disappointed. And again, like I said, I just think that if you could get a guy like Barton in round 1 with that versatility and that athleticism, swing around and get Frazier in round 2, you might even wait to 51 and see, because you would have Barton to play center.
Yeah.
And then second round, if you don't get Frazier, so be it. Maybe get Fisk or one of the top receivers or a top corner. I mean, there's so much talent there. I agree with what Big G said. They just can't reach. They can't overpay. And if they focus on their draft board, this should be a great draft for the Steelers.
And I think if they pick Barton at 20 and they stick and pick, and I think that I do think that that's the pick at the moment. If they stick and pick, I don't think Barton's the dude at 20. I actually think they pick Barton over Mims at this point. People will think I'm crazy for that, but I just do. The versatility, they like that. They think about how much they loved Filer, and Barton's like, Filer on steroids, right? And then you can get Van Pran, Granger, or Frazier in 2 or 3. Then I think, as you said, there's defensive line. Then in round 2, they can go get. There are cornerbacks. Like, if Ennis Rakestraw Jr. is still there at 51, people are sleeping on that kid, man. That kid is hungry. We think Joey Porter turned out to be a good second-round pick. Ennis Rakestraw in the second round is huge value, right?
Or you see why he dropped, though. Yeah, he didn't run good at the combine, but at his pro day, he ran a 4.44. So
yeah, I thought his official time at the interesting, because I had it as I still thought he was still in the 4.5, so I didn't know he'd run a 1.
No, I've read somewhere that he ran a 4.44 at his pro day, and now his stock went up some more.
But, okay. Because his tape, because he was being considered a pick in the 20s. His tape, that guy is hungry, man. That guy will put a hit on. That guy is quick twitch. Like he's and he does some things as well that Joey Porter doesn't do as well. Like he's a guy that can play zone. He'll play press. He's a really good prospect, right? So to go get him at 51 and shore up an expensive position could be really interesting. But I agree with you. I think Grant Barton looks more and more like the guy at pick 20. But regardless, we've got to trust in what the Steelers are doing, because I like what the ownership are doing right now, and I like what the guys in the GM room are doing. The personnel department's making a lot of good decisions, and we just got to hope they can continue making them, right?
Yeah, like I said, we got Max Melton right there, late second, early third. I mean, there's some there's so much talent, but the problem is you got to have some good fortunes, and these guys got to fall to you.
That's it. With that, we're going to wrap up this live. We will be back. There will be a reaction video pretty much as soon as the Steelers make their pick. I'll get that out. Then we'll have a live show that goes on with different people jumping in, like we've just had on this show, about probably 10-20 minutes after probably 20-30 minutes after the Steelers pick. Then we've also got live on day 2, live on day 3. Thank you everyone for tuning in. This has been epic, one of our best live shows in the last year. It's been awesome to have you guys. It's been awesome to have our other 2 panelists as well. And let's just keep cheering. Let's keep waving those terrible towels. Keep going. As always, go Steelers.